make spaghetti with vegetables on the side for dinner tonight. So the first step when you make any kind of food for yourself or for your family is to wash your hands. You have to do this because you carry a lot of bacteria in your hands, especially if you handle your phone, and it's really gross, and you don't want that getting into your food and into your mouth and your body. So that's what I'm going to do first. Washing for 20 seconds with warm water and soap is the best way to do it. And if you have an iPhone or an Apple Watch, it'll tell you how long 20 seconds is. You don't even have to count. So here I have my ingredients. I've got some broccoli. That can just be prepared in the microwave. I've got my spaghetti noodles. These are already prepared meatballs from Publix. They have seasoning like parsley on the top. They're just I could easily prepare the chuck the same way, but it's easier just like that. They're ready to cook. I've got some extra virgin olive oil and my marinara sauce right here. Here I just have a pan. I'm going to use that to cook the meatballs. It's important to get it up to an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit so that salmonella and any foodborne illnesses aren't going to be an issue. And then here I just have some salted water coming to a boil, and that's what I'll use to prepare the noodles. So when I prepare this, I'm just going to turn the pan on about medium-high and go ahead and put about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into the pan, just a thin layer to coat the bottom. And then I'm going to open this package here. Making sure that if I'm touching the meatballs with my hands, I'm not going to touch my face or my mouth, because obviously it hasn't been prepared yet. Okay, my water is still coming to a boil for my noodles. Okay, so once I have the package open, I'm just going to wait for that oil to get. I'm going to roll it up so it keeps its shape, and I'm just going to add it to the pan. So just pan fry for about 3 minutes each so that they make sure that they cook all the way through. That's important. I'm not going to do all of them at once, obviously. I'm going to do a few so that I have more control over their cooking time. So while I wait for my stove to get warm, my oil to heat, and my water to boil, I'm going to go ahead and put this broccoli in the microwave. This is the kind that you can prepare right in the bag, so it's a little bit less maintenance there. That's going to serve as my side. I don't like to add bread as the side just because it's easier to do a vegetable, and usually we'll do starchier vegetables just because of the My Plate suggestions. But tonight we're just doing broccoli in the bag, so I'm going to go ahead and set that in the microwave. So my water is boiling here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the lid off. And I'm going to cook it according to the time on the box. I'm not going to do this whole box because that's kind of a lot. But here I am. It says 8 to 9 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab about 7/8 of an inch circle here. And I like to break it so that there's less of a choking hazard. And it just goes right in. I'm just going to grab a spatula here and kind of stir it. Make sure all of the noodles are covered and saturated. Once they've been on there for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to flip them. They're pretty big. So I'm going to make sure that one side doesn't get more cooked than the other. Okay, so since my noodles are done, I'm just going to go ahead and attach my colander attachment to drain them. I'm going to go drain the water out of that, and I'm turning off the burner so that I don't overcook it. Here, working kind of quickly so that the noodles don't cook again, I am going to add my marinara sauce. This is roasted garlic, gluten-free, which is actually great for my purposes. And it's only 50 calories. You don't really want to get all of your flavor from the sauce, because a lot of times where flavor comes from is where calories come from. So we try to avoid that. So here I'm just stirring that in. What's great about these meatballs is they're already prepared from ground chuck. And beef is great for, it's a great source of protein and iron. Protein is good because when you eat something that's rich in protein, you will feel more satisfied after you eat it, and you'll stay satisfied longer. Whereas when you eat something that's highly carbonated, it'll satisfy that hunger, but it won't last. So anything high in protein is usually pretty good. What's great about these meatballs is they're already prepared from ground chuck. And beef is great for, it's a great source of protein and iron. Protein is good because when you eat something that's rich in protein, you will feel more satisfied after you eat it, and you'll stay satisfied longer. Whereas when you eat something that's highly carbonated, it'll satisfy that hunger, but it won't last. So anything high in protein is usually pretty good. So I'm just going to put dishes away, extra ingredients. That way I'm not overwhelmed by the time everything comes together. As I cook here, I'm just going to go ahead and wipe down my area, kind of clean up a little bit as I finish up, because a lot of times people will choose not to cook at home because it's so overwhelming to have to cook and clean up after yourself. So if you do it all at once, you kind of like mitigate that issue. I'm just going to clean up here. I'm going to wait for that to cool down, and then I'm going to dispose of it, just so that I make sure that everything's kind of safe. While I've been cooking, I've been sipping on this cranberry juice. It's 100% juice, no sugar added. The only way you can reap the benefits of unsweetened cranberry juice is if it's obviously unsweetened, because when you drink it, it can, you hear that it helps with UTIs, and it really does. But it's really good to drink juices. If you're going to drink them, they're going to be sugary. There's always going to be extra sugar in fruits. But this is good for, it's got vitamin C, it's got those extra nutrients without having the extra sugar. To the plate here, I'm just going to add just a small serving of our noodles. And some broccoli on the side. And some salt and pepper to taste. And I'm just going to add a small portion of our meatballs. And there we have it. When I cook for our meals for the week, I like to have something that's easy to just kind of grab and go with. So I will actually pre-portion these for later in the week for lunches or dinner or whatever. That way we don't have to try and go out and buy anything or cook in the middle of the week. Just adding these labels so I know when the food is good. That way I can keep our pre-portioned meals in the fridge and safe as long as possible. And that'll be good until I have to make another meal.